Well, the holidays are coming to the Sword Coast.
Yeah, and we're here to help you find the perfect Dungeons & Dragons themed gift for your nerdy friends.
Fa la 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 la.
Season's greetings, adventurers. I'm Monty Martin.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin.
And we are the Dungeon Dudes.
So, on today's episode, we're taking a look at some awesome gifts that you might be able to get your D&D nerd for the holidays.
Yeah, whether you just want a little token to give all of your players, or you want to give back to your Dungeon Master by saying thanks, or much more likely, you're a friend or a family member of a serious D&D nerd who has no idea whatsoever what to get your super nerdy friend, and you've just heard about this Dungeons & Dragons thing they do with their strange friends. We got some recommendations for you about that'll give you some good ideas on what to get them.
So let's take a look. So, gift number 1 on our list. What are we looking at today, Monty?
Well, I think we're going to start small and kind of build up from there. I think for anyone that plays in a D&D group, particularly if you're a dungeon master that wants to give back to your players once in a while, everyone thinks of like, what's a really good gift that I can give my players for like under $20 or even under $10?
Because nobody likes to spend a lot of money, right?
Yeah, especially if your D&D group has like 4, 5, or 6 people in it, right? Then multiply that. That's a lot. And like, let's face it, you spend a lot on this hobby to begin with. So I think that like a little token of appreciation for everyone is a probably good thing. I actually really recommend within a D&D group, I think it's probably a better idea to do like a Secret Santa thing instead of everyone doing like a huge gift exchange. And of course, there's all sorts of ideas that you could do in game itself, right? Like you might just want to give your players a new magic item. But if you want to give something substantial and tangible, what's the first stop?
I think that one of the essential pieces that every D&D player and DM needs is dice.
Yes. Everyone that plays this game has a huge dice obsession, and they are never going to begrudge you for giving them even more dice, even if it's more dice of the same color that they already have.
It's true.
Yeah, especially because, like, I don't know, I have a weird obsession with having matching dice sets. I am not offended if people give me more dice of the same color I already have.
I also, every time that I play a character, have to go out and buy at least one dice set, if not 2 or 3, that I feel speak to the character that I've created.
Yeah.
So, like, if I play a druid, I want, like, green or brown dice. My monk right now uses purple and silver dice because he's a royalty nobleman.
And speaking of that, there's really fancy sets of dice out there. There's everything from, like, those really engraved metal dice to game science precision dice, ones that have all sorts of cool patterns and different colors.
But those ones can get a little pricey.
They can, so if you want to get a nicer gift, though, but you still really want to give dice, I think that's why they're a cool gift, because they can be something that's as cheap as $5. But if you want to go super, super fancy with it, you can also get something really special, too.
Yeah. So you can kind of use dice from anywhere from a very small gift to making it a very big gift.
And they're available in basically every single game store, in addition to many accessories that go with dice, like really cool D20-themed dice bags.
Or my skull dice bag.
Or even ones that have, like, your favorite nerdy logo on it. It's really easy to get a dice bag that speaks to the nerd that you're shopping for.
And of course you can get these little guys here that have some dice inside there. All the different kinds that you would need to play D&D. And these guys retail for, what, like 10 to 12?
Pretty inexpensive. If you want to get something that's actually related directly to D&D and isn't just dice, we've got a few really good options for both players and dungeon masters. But I want to color this by saying, if you have a really, really rabid D&D fan, you might want to do some sleuthing to make sure that they don't already have any of these items. Because unlike dice, having an extra copy of a D&D book isn't usually useful. The first and foremost, of course, is the recently released Xanathar's Guide to Everything.
Highly recommended.
Yes, by the Dungeon Dudes. We have a whole video all about this book. And pretty much it's a no-brainer for every D&D player. If they don't already have it, they're going to love to get this book.
It's basically an incredible expansion to the already existing rules and player options for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So adding that in just gives you even more options to play around with.
Yeah, and I would say that if you know that your gift recipient is more of a dungeon master than a player, you might want to consider giving them Volo's Guide to Monsters. Now, what we just showed you here are the special edition copies of these books, and if you can hunt down a copy of them as a Christmas gift, even better. But there are non-special edition copies that have different artwork, but the same contents. Either way, it's a fantastic gift to give.
But what if nobody that you know is a dungeon master and your friend is in fact somebody who's looking to get into Dungeons & Dragons, or maybe you and your friends are all looking to get in, but you're not sure exactly how to get started? A great gift idea is the D&D starter set, which includes all the things that you need to get started with DMing and playing Dungeons & Dragons. So this little set here is rather inexpensive and will allow you to, elect somebody to be your dungeon master. It's kind of a soft hint to give this for the holidays and be like, you're going to be the dungeon master now. And yeah, you can really get started into the game that we love talking about.
Yeah, and if you want to accessorize a little bit even further, if you know that your friend has his favorite spell casting class, you could pick up one of these sets of spellbook cards by Gale Force 9. They're only about $20, and they can be quite hard to find. They just came into their second printing, so this is a great gift for your aspiring cleric, warlock, wizard, or sorcerer.
Yeah.
Along with that, if you flip over to the Dungeon Master's side, the brand new Dungeon Master screen, Reincarnated, just came out a few months ago with this beautiful piece of artwork. And if you have someone that's already an experienced Dungeon Master, this is a fantastic little gift for them. Again, one that's under $20. Now, finally, of course, we would be remiss to say that you couldn't even just consider giving any of the 3 core D&D rulebooks, like the Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, or Monster Manual, to any of your friends who are either playing D&D or learning to DM. For a long time, I think it was even a tradition in our group that we started giving people who were getting into the game a Player's Handbook around Christmas time or their birthday, because that was a great way to say, like, hey, welcome to the club.
It was also because we were sick of them having to ask us for all of the information about their characters.
Exactly. And so
it's good.
It never hurts to look at any of the 3 core rule books. Now, if you want to go a little bit bigger than this, there are a few much more expensive options that you can still find relatively easily to gift. These would include things like D&D miniatures,
which we have all across the board here. And if the person you're buying for is a DM and they're hoping to really enhance the game, or you want them to enhance their game, minis can really add a lot of awesome stuff to the game.
Yeah, just be careful between the difference between unpainted miniatures and pre-painted miniatures. And with the pre-painted miniatures, they often come in randomized booster packs, which make really good stocking stuffers. Mm-hmm. But you never know what you're going to give in that gift. But there are unrandom pre-painted sets that are things like dragons and parties of adventurers. These are all made by WizKids. They're available in most game shops that have D&D materials. And I really recommend, if you want a really good gift, like giving someone something like one of the dragons, or the adventurers, campsite kits, and things like that. Yeah. Those make great miniatures if you really want to get a much more expensive gift, because these tend to be $50, $60 or more. If you really want to go somewhere special, though, you could look into giving your nerd other accessories like Dwarven Forge terrain.
We also Hero Forge, where you can make
the
custom
miniatures.
There's a few options. Dwarven Forge is one of my favorite things to use in game, and also one of my favorite things to show up to Monty's game and see him using. It is rather expensive, but it is worth the value, definitely, for anybody that plays.
I will say, with a lot of these bigger accessories like miniatures and Dwarven Forge stuff, you do also have to order online for many of them to get a good selection. These are not typically things that you're going to find in a local game shop. So if you think you might want to go for broke and get like 3D terrain or big fancy miniatures that are of the rare quality, you should start looking online right now and start placing your orders earlier in December because you want to make sure those arrive in time for the holidays themselves.
Yeah. So you now have a lot of different options on what to get your D&D nerd for the holidays.
Yes, and if you're truly a gift-giving wizard, you will bring home the magic of the holidays. Just remember to be a little bit sneaky like a rogue and cunning like a bard when you're giving your gifts. That really is the best way to fill your holidays with warmth and cheer, much like a red dragon breathing fire over a horde of hapless adventurers stealing his treasure. We all hope that you have a fantastic holiday, whether you're spending that getting drunk off your butt, playing lots of D&D and board games, and of course, the most important thing of the holidays, spending time with friends and family who you care about very, very deeply.
And hopefully you're doing a lot of all three of those.
Well, after all that, if you're still feeling a little bit stuck for gift ideas, we do have another video you can check out where we talk about some of the essential items that we think every Dungeons & Dragons group should have. You might find some ideas there, so check out our video for that by following this link.
Or if you want to take a closer look at what's inside the starter set for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, we have a video on that over here.
We've got links right down below to help you pick up any of these gift ideas.
Please subscribe so that you never miss an episode.
Have a fantastic holiday, and we'll see you next time
in the dungeon.